Okay, guys, this is Mike from GreatStockPicks.com. There's some stocks I'm watching for Friday. BIOS, that's a handsome chart right here. You got a nice pop to whatever price that was, 742, and then it revisited right here a few days ago, 745, then an inside day, and now closing at, what did this close at? 739. And over this area, this one could really go. You notice the volume on these pops. So that one's interesting to me. A little less interesting, but still worth watching. Sometimes these obscure, when you get a 5 million share day and then a few days lower on quiet volume, sometimes you can get an afternoon break on something like RVLT and get a nice trade. So having that on a chart might pay us tomorrow. AVGO feels a little bit early for a bounce. I like these big movers. Look at that volume there. And a breakout 2 days, and it just feels a little early. I like to see these come down to the 8-day moving average. But I went ahead and threw it on Bounce Watch anyway, because when you get this kind of a move over these 2 days, and then you notice the falling volume on the next 2 days, sometimes it could happen. It doesn't have to come down and revisit it, so it can give a really nice trade. You still have momentum, and if AVGO can light up the new highs ticker in the afternoon, maybe from a narrow range, almost guaranteed you have a good trade there. So having it on a chart makes it possible. PLUG, kind of a lower priced, quiet one, but big move here, a little lower high here, but now 4 red days in a row, sitting at the 8-day. Another one that I'm watching for an afternoon high of day break after a narrow range. That one probably give a nice trade too, if that happens. TMUS, certainly extended. I mean, that's a big day today, but going forward, that needs to be on watch. I doubt I'll have a trade in that tomorrow, but you never know, right? You never know. It could meet some of our parameters. Certainly a nice little breakout and room to run, but I don't like to really put them on watch after they've had a big day like that. So, but as I say, it doesn't cost me anything to have it on a chart. Some thinner stocks. That's not what I wanted. OXBT. Well, this is kind of a thinner one too. All of a sudden, 6 million shares. And, it closed about in the middle of its day's range. So this is a good candidate. If you look on an intraday basis, look at that move it made in the morning. Whenever you see that, even though it tailed off in the afternoon, this will probably give a nice trade in the next day or two with the right setup, I guess, if you will. So that it certainly doesn't cost me anything to have that one on a chart. And QTWW is a little bit lower volume, but this one's interesting too. Now this one, again, I like the pattern here. You could even draw that there. It looks like up over, especially if we can get up to 750, it probably takes out this high. This one's really interesting on the weekly. You had this nice move and then a long base. So this one over these highs, over the 750 area, could certainly be a long multi-day move. Having said that, I always like to look at how far something's come. And this has been climbing really for 5 days straight. So even though you're near like a trend line break, you want to be careful after a move like that. So that one's just kind of on my background radar. I would be surprised. We actually traded that today. I called it over this little narrow candle here. I called it a 673 with a 666 stop, and we got the bulk of that trade today. So now it's just interesting, but probably for next week. That's it. We will find stuff as the morning unfolds, using our volume scanners and things like that as well. So that's the list I'm going to start with, and we'll talk to you later.